Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Helzie here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net. I'm bringing you this card today. I have thoroughly enjoyed making this card. It's using my favourite stamp set from the Christmas catalogue. Now that's quite a claim to make, isn't it? But Fond of Autumn I have fell in love with. It is going, it won't be available after December. So if you want it, get it now, and I definitely recommend getting it. The one thing I noticed was the Acorn on the Fond of Autumn set coordinated very nicely with the Acorn on the Nuts About Squirrels set. So I've had this for some time and not used it as much as I should, and I thought it'd be a great way to team them up together on this card. So I'm using the big detail piece on the Fond of Autumn, and this has been used a lot. It's probably my most inked stamp of the season. So beautiful, I love it. But what's really great about it is this card is actually for a male. So where I normally go for florals and then I struggle with doing male cards, because this focuses more on the leaves and on the acorns, I feel it can go for a masculine card as well. So I'm blending this first of all. Now what I'm doing different to usual is I'm doing all the leaves the same colour. Whenever I've used this stamp previously, I've done the acorn leaves in a different colour to the berry leaves and so on. For this one, I'm doing them all in light and dark soft succulent because this is going to be a background piece of the card and I don't want it to detract focus from my squirrel. So I'm just going around and colouring all those in. And then for the acorns, I'm using light and dark soft suede at the very top. And then I'm going to be using light and dark crumb cake for the main part of the acorn. For the berries, I'm using light and dark pumpkin pie. I don't use this colour enough and I really should because it's very autumnal and it's quite cute. I'm using the light pumpkin pie to go around the inside of the flower. Then I'm using light and dark daffodil delight for the centre. And then I'm using light and dark Cajun craze for the rest of the card. So I quite like that. The SU1000 is going to be coming in here. This is one of the skin tone blends, and I'm going to colour all of the background of this stamp. So this is going to be going onto coloured cardstock, not onto white. And I thought if I put it with a white border, it's really going to stand out. It's going to go, hello, I'm here. So I've decided to colour it with the skin tone blends in the background so that it doesn't stand out as much. And that way I don't have to worry when I cut it about the inside bits, you know, there's not going to be any white. So then I'm just fussy cutting around the whole of the detail. I do enjoy fussy cutting, but I enjoy fussy cutting from a much smaller sheet. So that's why I've cut the outside bits off. And I'm not being too neat. I'm leaving a little bit of an edge because that colour is just going to blend into the cardstock. So it'll look okay. And yeah. Then I've got myself a lovely detailed piece. I really do enjoy playing with this stamp set. It was probably the best purchase I've made because, well, it won't go. Even when it retires, I'll be keeping it on my shelf. I love it. So I'm going to be using this cheeky squirrel that's holding on to his acorn. And for this, it's slightly different. This is a two-step stamp. So here you are. You can stamp it up with memento like that. And then you take your Cajun craze, which is what I've used, and you just stamp the detail in. You don't have to do any colouring or any blending. It lines up perfectly, and there's your squirrel. How simple is that? I'm doing my acorn in the same colours, so it ties up across, and they both look the same. And there it is, as simple as. How quick and easy is that? And that was what makes this card brilliant. You've got the one detail piece, but the rest of it is so simple to do. Again, the same skin tone blend I'm coming in with around the outsides, and then I'm going to fussy cut as well. He's quite simple to fussy cut because he's more of a circle, so it's quite a simple sort of cut. But for those people who question on the fussy cutting, I do enjoy it. Always use down towards the base of the scissors rather than the top because you just get a much smoother line. If you use the top, it can look a little bit jagged. So there we go, there's my little squirrel and his nut. So I've picked a layering circle, this is the largest one, that is bigger than my squirrel, and I'm going to run that through my big shot with my cardstock. So I'm just going to cut the cardstock down. First of all, I'm doing this as a base. So this is my base piece here that I've just cut and put to the side at 14.85 centimetres, and I'm going to score it. at 10.5 centimetres. So it's all ready for my base. My scoring tool had come off. I was just having to put my scorer back on. So there's the card base ready to go. The layer on the top is going to be 10 centimetres by 14.35 centimetres. So it's going to be slightly smaller than the base. And then the other bit that I've cut off that I put to the side, that's going to form my scrap cardstock. So I can now take my circle and I can die cut that out. Bring it back. Now my die cut machine's just off to the side. I've got a Rasgog from IKEA. I keep my die cut in on there, so it's just a lot easier to just do it at the side rather than try and fit it in under the camera, because my die cut machine's just a bit too big and it knocks my camera and it makes everything wobble. So there we go, circle done. The next bit is I'm going to be playing with some DSP, and this is going to be on the base section. So I'm going to cut this down. I'm cutting it at 5 centimetres and I'm going to cut it at 14.35, so it's the same as the card. But what I do like to do is cut this slightly bigger, stick it to the card, and then trim off the edge bit. And that way you know that it's a perfect fit for your card. This is the Abigail Rose paper. It is beautiful, really nice. And it's just got the leaf details, and I feel that works quite well for a masculine card. I'm then cutting myself a strip of vellum. It doesn't matter what size, because I'm just going to die cut this out. So I'm going to be using our layering edges dies. And I'm going to use this one here. It has got detail on both sides. So when I run this through, it will do for 2 cards, okay? Because the stitching will be on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. So it doesn't matter which width you use, because I'm going to be putting the DSP over the top. But again, I've cut it slightly longer than my card so that I can trim them both down. And I'm putting the glue over the part that I'm going to cover, because when you stick vellum down, you'll be able to see in a second, it's really obvious where you've put your glue. So I've put it underneath where I'm going to put the DSP so no one sees, and then I'm sticking the DSP down as well. Line it up at the bottom, it'll overlap at the top, and then I'll come in with my snips and I will chop both off like that, and I know they fit perfectly on my card. I'd much rather have it overhang than have it loose. Now I'm just going to take my detail piece and work out how I'm going to pop that on the card with the circle so that I still get enough of the detail. And my little squirrel, isn't he just gorgeous? The sentiment I'm going to use for this is happy birthday, because it is a birthday card. And I'm going to stamp that towards the top of the circle. I'm doing this in memento, just so it stands out really well. And then once I'd done it, I was very aware that the circle was quite big and there wasn't that much on it. So a bit later on, I do come in and add some more detail. I'm sticking my squirrel straight onto the circle, and then I'm going to pop in some dimensionals on so that this pops up and looks great on the card. I'm popping a few on, and you'll notice I've put one on over the overhang of the squirrel and the circle, just so it keeps those two binded together. And now I've worked out where the background piece is going to go, I'm going to pop those up on dimensionals as well. So it will sit the same level and same height as the circle and the squirrel. I'm putting a few on here because this card is actually going to go through the post, and I want it to still be stuck up nicely when it arrives rather than being flat. Sometimes when they get pushed through letterboxes, they get pushed through, don't they? So I've really definitely tried to stick everything down. And then my circle and my squirrel on top. Doesn't he just look cute? He looks like he's stolen one of those acorns from the top. As I said, I wanted a bit more detail on the circle, so I've used my Stampin' Right marker, and I have put my own little stitching detail around here. It's not precise, I haven't measured anything out, I've just put a dot every couple of millimetres all the way around, and it's just provided just a little bit of detailing and just sets it off the paper a little bit. And then I was happy with that. I thought that had worked. So I need to now adhere this onto my card base and then add some final embellishments. To adhere it onto my card base, I'm going to be using the foam adhesive sheets. Now the reason I'm using these is because, as I said, this is going through the post and I want it to still be stuck up. The foam adhesive sheets are slightly wider than our card bases in the UK. So I've just cut this down, and then I can use the bit that came off the bottom to cut myself a strip at the underneath. Now you notice I haven't gone all the way to the edge. The reason for that is I like not having it visible from the side. So when you actually put it side on and you hold the card sort of side to the camera, you would see it if it went all the way to the edge. So I try and keep it about half a centimetre off each edge so that you can't see it. And then I've just adhered that down and it will stay lovely and foamed and puffed out, which is great. For the final embellishments, I have decided to use the new adhesive back sequins. These are going to be in the new catalogue that comes out in January. If you want a copy, ask me. They've got a sheet of large and a sheet of small. So I've gone in with the small, put a few of these around the florals at the top, and I'm using the gold ones. And I can't remember if I nicked any of the big ones. No, I didn't. I think I just thought that the small ones all looked very uniform together. And that was the card. Hopefully you've enjoyed and you've liked making this one. Don't forget to get that fond of autumn before it leaves us. And thank you for joining me today. Finally, all of the items I've used are available to purchase from www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. If you are new to my videos, please do subscribe and come back again. I do post regular comment. If you've enjoyed it, do comment, like and share. And I would really appreciate if you could head over to my Instagram page @slimandstylish, because I'm just trying to get up to 3,000 followers and I'm about 30 people off. I would very much appreciate if you helped me. Thanks everybody. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.